My stepdad and mom used to cook all the time, and just dynamite food. I love it. I've always watched them cook as a kid, and one day when I was living with my stepdad, he showed me chicken and sausage sauce piquant, and ever since that day I fell in love and found culinary school, and here I am, just trying to make it through. Yeah, in the morning, whenever you're getting ready for class, you just kind of talk to yourself a little bit, get your mind right before you walk into the kitchen. Make sure your clothes is up to par, your knives are sharpened, you got all the tools you think you may need because you looked over the recipes the night before or whatever prior before walking in the kitchen. And it's just, you just get ready to walk into that kitchen. When I walk into the kitchen, I'm ready. I'm ready all the time, every time I've walked in. If you talk about a blind chef, most people are like, you're crazy. I'm only legally blind, but it's just enough to really just hinder a lot of the things I do. And when I first got here, it was really rough. Oh my gosh, it was really rough. I've seen chefs that can't see at all cook, but they have like a lot of assistants and helpers and just feeling things. But I mean, you gotta adapt to everything you do. Here I am 2.5 years later in culinary school, getting to know all the great students that really become some of your best friends over here. And they've helped me along the way so much, and I couldn't thank them anymore for what they've done. Words can't express how much my kitchen family helps me. You have about 8 to 9 recipes for that day, groups of 2s usually, sometimes 3s, and you work on these recipes for like 4 hours, and then after everybody works and gets it done, you set them down and you have fam meal, and that's just all the dishes that were prepared, set up on a table line like this, and everybody just goes at it. And it's some of the tastiest food you'll ever eat. I wish I can start my whole culinary career over just so I can go back and taste some of the things, but I mean, now I can cook them, Chef Frank Brodson, along with many chefs over here, Chef John Folse Culinary Institute, have made me really enjoy back at the house. I love front of the house too, but I really love just being in the heat of the kitchen and just when the adrenaline comes up and you just got to think on your feet, and I love that. And like, I couldn't thank the people over here for teaching me necessary skills like that, and like they're all great. I love every single one of them. They work with me, make sure I never fall behind, but it's just awesome to be a part of a thing like this that helps you prepare for the back of the house, and it's just a lot of fun. I mean, if you mess up on something, then you got to redo it, and that's just going to take a lot of time out your hands. And like, whenever you step into this kitchen, you have to be ready. You have to be able to think on your feet. You have to be able to just make quick decisions in general. And if one person messes something up in the kitchen, it's gonna be some kind of chaos. It might not be an unrevivable chaos, but everybody needs to be on their feet when they get in the kitchen and just alert, is what I could basically say, because it's intense and I love it. It gives you an adrenaline high that I just never got from anything else. I don't even know how to explain it. Being taught under Chef Brodson is an absolute honor. It's just unbelievable being taught by him, and I can't thank him more for what he's taught me in the kitchen from all of his recipes, all of them. They're very delicious.
You have something in this dish I really love, like depth of flavor.
Thank you, Chef.
You have, you were asked to do something with Louisiana techniques, and you nailed that.
Thank you, Chef.
Nicely done.
Thank you, Chef. Advanced service is it's such a treat to be a part of. I loved it. I love being in front of all them people and just talking and getting to know them, and just making them laugh, making them enjoy the night. And it was crazy. I love it. Chef Casson really teaches you how to execute, because he'll go over it and over it and over it. You won't fail with him. There's no way. My dish that night was mint pesto covered lamb with fingerling potatoes and a garlic aioli. Chef Caston really just, he makes you feel confident when you walk into front of the house because he really does a great job of teaching. He knows his stuff, and the stuff that he's passed on to me throughout. I've been in front of the house training for like a year. After this semester, it's gonna make a year. But it's just astronomical. The people you meet, the doors you open if you talk to people, and just Chef Caston makes it all happen. You know, he knows what he's doing. He's got social skills like I've never seen, and it's just fun to work with him. Right before service, you know, Chef Caston, he sits us all down. He gives us a pep talk. Really makes the front of the house fun. That night, it was all about execution, and then after that, lights go off, baby, candles on, it's time to roll, and gotta get it. When you step into a kitchen, everybody's essentially in an orchestra, if you will, and everybody needs to be playing their instruments to their 100% best. And if someone's a little off in this orchestra, the sound ain't gonna sound right. You know, the kitchen's like one band, one sound. Everybody works to their maximum, or the song's not gonna be great. That's why whenever you step into the kitchen, you have to have a ready mindset all the time. It's a long night sometimes. Most of the time, actually, you don't leave till 11, 12 o'clock. Sometimes 1, depends on how busy it was. And you know, if you doubled or tripled up with tables that night, I mean, once you finish your first set of guests, you got to replace everything on the table, set it up for the next table that comes at whatever time they may show up, and then you got to do the whole service again with them. There's like 8 courses, and you know, it's a lot of work, but it's fun, but it is exhausting. And then for advanced service, when we have our like advanced nights where we're carting around and serving customers, you know, it's tough. Sometimes you're two or three tabled up, like I was saying earlier, but you know, at the end of the night, we sit down, talk about it, we say we could have went different, what went right, what do we have to copy, what do we have to change, and you know, you just get ready to do it all again the next day. And that, I mean, that I love that stuff. I love it, I really do. For many of you who may not know this, you know, I have a double lung transplant. Growing up with cystic fibrosis, you know, I was in the hospital literally every 2 weeks from when I was 7. My mom used to stay with me all the time, and at one point I was just like, Mom, like, you don't have to stay with me anymore. Like, I have 2 brothers back at home and a stepdad that, like, you're married to. And I was like, look, Mom, I got this. Like, just, I'll be all right. I'll see y'all when I get home in 2 or 3 weeks. Because I'm half blind, it makes going to my appointments difficult, and just finding a ride of any case of emergency, really, because if I get sick, you know, it could turn into something atrocious, you know. Along coming to Nicholls, you know, I've made like loving friends like Andrew. You know, anytime I call him up and ask him if I can come, if he could drive me to an appointment, he's always Johnny on the spot with it, you know. I've never heard him say, no, I cannot bring you. I'm glad I've met people like that, and they're one of the building blocks to why I'm not failing right now, because I don't have to worry about stuff I shouldn't have to worry about with them in my life. First, you know, my appointments would go every week as soon as I got out the hospital, then every month, then every 3 months, then every 6 months. And that's where I'm at right now with every 6 months. And we go there, you know, I go to the x-ray center, they take my x-ray. Then you go to the blood, they take my blood. And then they got this it's called a pulmonary function test, a PFT. And they use all them numbers, you know, that they get from that blowing exercise where I blow into the machine and inhale. And, you know, they take all the mathematics. I don't know the science behind it, but they take all that and they give you the FEV1, and that's what I always go off for. If that's where it needs to be, then I'm happy. And I've gone into the hospital twice since the transplant. And recently, My FEV1 was 71. Now it's 81. It used to be 96, but I mean, we climbing again. We coming. It was a very tough, long road, but I mean, here we are. I'm almost 4 years out. Yeah, almost 4 years out in January, and that's what the double lung transplant does. And to the great doctors of Oxnard, y'all are making changes to people's lives that y'all can't even believe. Words can't express how happy I am with the second chance I've been given. I'm gonna make every second count. Cause I used to try to play sports even with my bad lungs, you know. But I mean, I would just always try, and that's all you can do. You can try and never give up. Before my lungs collapsed and all that, and I was living with cystic fibrosis, I'm not gonna say I didn't like my life, because you know I always had family. I always had really close friends that I've been close with for 10 or some odd years, you know. But you know, I just felt like I was missing out on a big opportunity in life, or just missing out on living. And just one thing, you know, everybody gotta know is no matter what your situation is, you can't let it stop you. You can't let it stop you from shining. Just thinking one day, I came into this quote in my head, and just how everything in my life is changing, and everybody's afraid of change. Change is the hardest thing to go through in this life. But in life, the right amount of change could fill a gas tank and take you to way better places.